you are.
Episode 16.
Episode 16. It can drive.
Put your headphones on, motherfuckers.
Ooh. No, episode 16. Our episodes could drive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's
16.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Interesting. Did it get us permit first, though?
I hope so. Did you drive the necessary hours with it?
Probably not.
Oh, shit.
Not that.
My parents actually, like, this is kind of funny actually, but like getting my license, my parents never let me drive. Like, because how many test hours are you supposed to have? I don't even know. It's different from state to state, but I think it's like 100
I didn't
at
even
least.
know you were supposed to have test hours.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So
I got my permit when I was 15 and a half.
Uh-huh.
And as long as there was a 21 and older in the vehicle, then I drove. Just to get the experience, I guess.
But isn't there like an amount of hours you're supposed to hit?
No, I think it's like you have to have your permit for 6 months. I think it's what it is.
Oh, just that's all.
So
it is?
I got it
Oh.
15 and a half. I turned 16. Yeah. I failed the test 3 times.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Because I just went in it. Like I just went in and I was like, I'll figure it out.
What was that? What were your issues most of the times?
It's the on the computer, you know.
Oh, the written part, not
written.
not
no,
the
driving test, dude.
Oh, okay.
The driving test I got on Halloween. My guy was like a murdered person. My test driver.
It
know?
seems like in poor taste. I was killed by a drunk driver. This is who I am for Halloween.
Yeah.
You're like,
and you're gonna be my test guy here. So we literally did 4 left turns, 4 right turns on and off the freeway, and then he's like, "You're good. Here's your license."
Yeah.
After failing the written.
It says
3 times.
Carlos. That's me.
Yeah, sure. That's me for the next.
Anyway, anywho's, I was walking my dog this morning for his, cacas and peepees.
And peepees and popos.
The morning stroll. We're
Yeah, after doing yours or before?
I always do mine first.
Of course.
I'm the fucking king of this house. So
He's your pet.
Yeah.
He's your
He watches me too. I take it long shits on purpose. I'm just like, you holding it? Is the smell making you want to do it?
Speaking of fucking
just to assert my dominance,
Go ahead.
Anywho
again.
So we're walking, the same path we always go on. And then all of a sudden he just like stops. No, like I'm not going over there.
Not past that line.
Yeah, not like just for no reason. Nobody was around, nothing was happening, and he just stops like full as all of his.
Do you keep
strength.
going and like kind of try to?
Well, kind of a little bit, but like this time it was like he was like, "Fuck no, bro." He's like, I saw you asserting your dominance earlier. Now it's my turn. This is my fucking house.
You think you're the king? Yeah. We're outside now, bitch.
But it was almost in this weird way too, where it was like, it's still early too. It's like foggy, and I've already hit my CBD weed pen a little bit, so I'm already kind of introspective thinking. But I'm like, I don't know. People talk about a dog seeing ghosts and shit.
Oh,
have
really?
You heard that before?
Yeah, I have. They sense.
Or kids too, because they're kind of like tapped
more
into
susceptible.
This,
I guess in a way.
And I was kind of wondering why, and actually like looked it up. I was like, why? Like, do dogs see ghosts? And the answer is like people have no idea. How would they know? But dogs do, number one, have like a sixth sense. We do know that, which is pretty strange. Where they can like sense an earthquake's coming, or even like a medical condition is coming, or that's strawberry cough.
Cool.
So it's like they are in tune with this really weird thing
vibe, almost.
And then so they have the sixth sense going. Then they also, their smells are so good too that they can really smell things that we can't smell. So maybe something that's, I don't know, who knows? We don't want to stay away from. I don't know. There's that, and then the last one was smell, and then also their hearing is so much better than ours too. It's kind of like that thing if you think about with like all your senses, like if you lose one of them, the other ones get stronger. Like a blind person can, I don't know,
hear better,
and they're more in tune with those things. So it's interesting to just think about like these other planes of existence that are happening all around us that we just aren't tuned into.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your finger or your like brain on another dimension that you can't really wrap your head around because you can't understand it,
Yeah.
But it's there. It's like, so how deep does that rabbit hole go?
I mean, to a certain extent, you get that through meditation, I would say. Like, if you meditate long enough and you, or yoga for some people like myself, like that's what I use. And it's like, even after my video ends or whatever, I'll just sit there in resting pose or wherever we finish that day and just, clear my head, try to clear my head. And this morning I found myself actually doing the yoga and in my head saying like, oh, it's already 10:30, I'm going to be late, this and that. I got to get here at 11. And was setting around all this pressure. Yeah, I'm going to get fired. And I was just like, I got into the video so much that I just, all that went out the window.
Right. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just heard the birds, I heard the cars, and, it humbles you in a way, dude.
Meditating is definitely one of the best things I ever started doing. Like it's so true. Like you capture yourself in a different vessel. Like you really discover yourself and like not even to get all like hippy dippy spiritual, but I think just after doing it I've been doing it for like a year and a half now. Like I used to have a fear of death and not understanding what we are or where we're going, and I think it's actually calmed me in a way because I just feel like there's some kind of energy that's like humming in us at all times. I don't know what it is or where it goes from there, but like it's like super beautiful actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. But dogs can see ghosts, kids can see it's crazy these different
it's almost like a different
of existence,
realm,
man.
yeah.
It's like multi-universe theory. It's like
universes.
Or parallel universes, something that's actually existing. I mean, was it black matter, dark matter, or it's like there's a name for it that scientists say. It's like they just call it, is it dark matter, right? I think it's dark matter, or it's one of those.
One of those.
But they just have a name for it because they don't understand why it can manipulate certain things certain ways. Like how a planet can be suspended, then all of our rules of physics just in this one little area are completely eradicated. They're like everything can shift so quickly. That's what's really crazy too.
Yeah, well, the creation of this, everything that this is, this earth or something, that was a fucking explosion.
That's true.
And it just all changed.
But it was gradual too in a way. But I guess that is so big because what it is now still expanding, right? I mean, what is time?
What is time?
What is time?
I don't know. It's man-made.
I was thinking
structure to confine us all.
How it's that's so true. I know, like isn't it crazy to think sometimes, and it's sad for me because I think about the possibility of what existence could be and how happy and like full to our lives we could all live it if we were just, I don't know,
not
the social
work,
like the social strength, like we could all be creative and all really like push ourselves forward in some way.
That's, maybe next week, folks, we can kind of hit that subject too because I feel like the Burning Man community, like something like that, like
it's kind of back into it.
Yeah, it
it's
definitely hits that point for sure. Like everybody can be themselves in a sense, with no shame.
Yeah, it's sorry. It's like that, from that, I mentioned the show last week, I think, Kidding, that Jim Carrey show. And I was watching again this week, and they were saying, he was like, look at the TV, and like talking to his wife still at the time that's getting fucked by another guy. And she's like, he's like, the lesson is that you are who you are when you're by yourself. Like, you can't hide from the fact of this is who you are in your alone time. Like, that's your true version of yourself. And you really are in control of the environment and how you interact with it. Like, it's completely your choice. You can complain about, the circumstances that you're in and how the world is cruel and it's against you, but how you're going to choose to maneuver through that, it's completely up to you.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that can really stand true to that and say, okay, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a difference.
Exactly.
I'm going to make myself better, because nobody else is going to hold you to that. And you can't use your like downtime or your alone time as like a coping mechanism or something that's negative, just because, and then go on social media almost, and then live through this persona, live now.
Yeah. Speaking of social media,
yeah,
we mentioned last week too. about the screen time. And people do fall into that and vicariously, live through this other person, put this mask on, essentially,
You said it last week. You said, will virtual reality be our freedom or something? It will set us free? You said something along those lines, and I didn't really connect with it until I listened back to kind of, see if there's some things we could keep going.
Right.
And I heard that, and I was like, that is pretty interesting, because you can look at it as a negative thing. And we've talked about this with like moving with technology, not fighting against it, because you're going to lose, you're going to get left behind or whatever. Yeah. Like it could be let's say a kid has cancer or like somebody's dying, and then they put this headset on and they're like, serenity, they're in their happy spot, or they can create this environment where they are maybe living more than they are in their current vessel.
Or they're more than they will ever be able to, in that vessel that is unfortunately dying,
Right. But I mean, that could be very addicting, and I guess that's the danger of it,
Yeah, I could maybe see that as a service in the future, like for those
call it euthanasia, and it's just like you put on the headset, then you go to Asia. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're dead.
And boom, you ain't there no more. What would happen? You would just fall asleep, I guess?
Yeah.
Die?
I mean, maybe they could start like shooting you up with some, I don't know, this is getting dark.
Yeah, that just took a twist. I'm trying to make this a happy ending. This
Ooh, that'd be fun too. Yeah, right before you die, the nurse comes and jerks you off. Get Louis C.K. in there, he needs work.
Yeah, I heard.
Anything to get my credibility back.
Yeah, right. He came back, what was it, like, really?
Yeah.
He didn't even wait that long.
I think it was 9 months.
Yeah.
Speaking of perverts, Bill Cosby's getting locked away.
3 to 5, what was it?
I think it's 3 to 10.
3 to 10.
Which is a strange, window of...
Yeah, it's fucking... what money buys you.
Oh, yeah, no, I was reading about it too. There was I think it was on CNN, and it was talking about what his life would be like in prison. And I was kind of curious, because I picture it not being that bad for whoever he, you know what I mean? They're not going to just throw him to general population.
Yeah.
So they kind of wrote a letter, and they're like, and his first meal was meatballs and mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm like, this is not Phoenix.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I don't know where he went. I don't know where it was.
I didn't read it. I just kind of saw headlines.
Or wherever it was. I mean, that sounds better than the stories that I've heard of people eating in jail. I don't know.
Yeah, what do they call it?
Like spreads and stuff, and bread, and I don't know.
It's like mush.
Mush, yeah. Well, I think Opayo made it all vegetarian too, right?
Did he?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Fat fuck. Vote for me again.
All right, back to there's a couple of things we can hit on, but I saw this morning, and I thought it was crazy, and it kind of maybe it planted this little seed in my head of the thing that happened with Noki, but it's an example of all of the shit that's happening around us that we're not aware of. So it's this lady, and she hooked up this sound machine to hear vibrations from a sunflower and the sounds that it makes. So do you know plants communicate with each other?
Yeah.
And they can change even their taste, so then the prey will stop eating them, or from miles away, they know.
Yeah.
They shift with the environment, so to speak. So this is sunflowers, the sound. Is that trippy?
That's a sunflower?
Yes.
What sounded like words?
No, that's some foreign.
That's some lady
yeah.
behind. Okay, I was like.
They're wait, but that's crazy.
It's like wind chimes, dude. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, right?
Very serene.
Okay.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, come on. This is our show. Just taking our spotlight.
Taking our airtime.
Jesus
here, man.
Christ. Speaking of other sounds. But isn't it insane that just so that world, that universe is happening.
That dimension we're not tuned into.
Or ants, or bees,
Yeah.
God damn, dude, this world it's so fucking crazy. And, like,
is,
we
dude.
don't strip back because we get so like weighted down by society and like all these things that we have to do and go through that we don't like stop and we're just like, holy shit, my dog's talking to a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, we take a lot of it. I mean, I've recently started talking to my plants inside the house, like, because I heard, talking to them, and I'm actually, you kind of turned me on to this, is, ooh, baby. When you leave your house, you leave some music playing for your dog, and I have my dogs, my birds, and I'm sure the plants, like it too, so I'm just like, hey, hit that Beethoven.
Yeah, live nice.
Yeah, so, I don't know. There is something about that. I've been more aware of that. Also, when I'm like going to bed now, I don't necessarily want to have my TV on.
Yeah.
That light just kind of
for sure.
radiating.
Yeah, dude, I don't think anybody should have a TV in their bedroom. Honestly, like it's great sometimes because like when you wake up and you're lazy and then you don't and you're like
just go to your couch.
Just go to your couch,
Yeah.
and that it was hard for me to slowly transition to that.
I might have to.
But now I just like it feels really good.
Yeah.
It goes kind of, we'll go back to hit that technology thing with the screen time. So now it's been a week since that app was installed on the phones, and I definitely have been more aware. And I actually am not as disappointed in myself as I thought I would have been, but I do think I've kind of been a little more hesitant with it, just knowing that it's calculating. But I think that in itself is great.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, originally when I said the cyber cleanse, like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get rid of all this application. I wanted to not click that button, But then, having this and this platform or whatever we have to promote, or for your music, you have to promote. So you do need it, and it's a tool, like we've said billions of times on this thing. I just wanted to eliminate it. So this, like, me being, like, purposely resisting, clicking on all that. It's still there. It's leaving that temptation. I think it goes back to even when I quit vaping, like, I had my vape there, I could go get juice if I really wanted to.
Right.
It's almost like pressuring yourself, and I don't know, putting accountability on yourself.
And it's nice to see it actually like in numbers, so you can actually see where like,
sure.
that's like, that seems too high, or like, or vice versa of that, going into what you're saying of like, so I'm aware when I'm not using it, but then when I'm using it, I actually use it to the potential of what it can be by actually interacting with people, actually watching things people post. Like this morning, I found that fucking video, which was awesome. Like that kind of opened a can of worms in my brain.
Yeah.
Then I also saw this like Pixar. I don't know if it was Pixar or not, but it was like a Pixar-esque like short film. Did you see it floating around at all? And it was basically on like this kid and his dad, and it's about how we're killing creativity in our children, and basically not like not hoping that they do more. So it's really good. I'll send it. I was actually gonna send it to you, but it was like 8 minutes, and when I was watching it, it was like heartwarming actually. I was like, this is amazing, and it's sad. It's really sad because the kid's, he's in school and he's drawing the A, B, C's, D's, and then he starts like getting like kind of imaginative with it and like making characters with the letters and stuff, and the teacher's like, no, only write them like that. And then so like, and the dad keeps on seeing the homework, then he sees him like improving in school. But then he like looks back at like the first week, the second week of school, and all those, and like he sees like these amazing like pictures and stuff of just like, but we're like, that's wrong, or that's not what you're supposed to do, And it's I think we really are. It'll be interesting to see if art will suffer in the future with like what that generation is, because of how we consume so much, like with the sensory overload that we're living inside of,
There's too much going on out there
to like even consume a 9-minute video. Like for me in the past, when I'm always scrolling or not like actually
paying attention
to what I'm doing, just kind of being like,
mindlessly scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. I would just kind of, skip to the 1 minute mark, 2 minute mark, or whatever, and then be like, okay, I get it.
Just like you watch your porn.
Right, exactly. All right. Done.
Boom. That's a great story.
Boom goes the dynamite.
But yeah, there's just too much going on, too much to consume, constantly consuming too, you know, not being okay with being off of our screens. In a way, I think I used to use it like a coping mechanism, and I think we all do in a way, like coping mechanism. You're in an uncomfortable situation, you look down at your,
right.
you know, you live through this mask that, you know.
That I definitely never do. That's like those are the small little, like, I think we've talked about this before,
yeah,
right? Like
and
waiting in line or what, like don't just jump set.
Don't.
Like soak it in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think just those little lessons kind of go a long way, man.
For sure, dude. I mean, even purposely like not trying to touch my phone at work, you know, like it's crazy. How many times we do pick up our phones, like,
right?
And it has that total pickup number, and I was like, I think weekly it started going down, you know.
Yeah, actually, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a hot potato.
Yeah, fuck, man. And for no reason, sometimes I just pick it up and look at the time, like, I guess. Yeah, man, just too much to keep up with this fucking rat race.
Have you ever had like phantom vibrations before? I guess that's the name for them. I looked it up because I was thinking like a ghost vibration. I thought that's what it was called. When you feel like your phone vibrates or something.
Yeah.
So I looked this up too, and they're like 9 out of 10 people experience it. It's something that's new from technology, where like our brains like actually firing off like neurons almost because of this technology.
That's crazy.
And so I was reading this article on NPR, and this is something that this is a new thing I want to try to start incorporating to my life, which is, she's like, you know, we're so dependent on this technology. One really great thing to do is at least be detached from it from like 30 minutes to an hour a day. Not holding it, not like having it in your pocket, just leaving it at home or leaving it somewhere, like maybe walking my dog and then just not. I think that's like something I want to do that. And the other thing is when I wake up in the morning, not just first rolling over to my phone. So I've started kind of like just doing a couple of yoga poses when I'm still in bed.
Nice.
Doing a couple like that, rolling over, going to feed my dog, pissing. You know, just like kind of waking up with the day, then kind of going on my phone.
Yeah.
Like grabbing it for my morning shit.
Yeah.
But I think but even just that couple minutes, man, I think it can start really small. That's the thing I learned with meditating. Like when I first started, I was doing 5 to 10 minute sessions, but still kind of getting something from it. So it forces you to pursue it and kind of push it a little bit farther and kind of like, oh wow, this does feel good. It does feel better to do this, or my brain is working in new ways that I'm happy with. You know, I don't know. Those are a couple of the things that I've taken away from. I don't think I've had a good enough grasp on like what I want to cut down for like usage time. Like I said, like I've been feeling
should we
pretty
pull
good.
it up
Yeah,
right
let's
now?
see. Let's look at it.
Let's pull this up right now.
Screen time. Okay.
It's neat, man. Today I've been social networking a lot.
Today was bad because I was hungover.
Well, and then this too. I got
drunk last night. Okay, so we're looking at the last 7 days.
Last 7 days. Here we go.
Okay. So
I'm at 2 hours and 54 minutes.
1 hour and 53 minutes. But you write on yours is probably the big difference.
I do write a lot.
Facebook is my Achilles heel. 2 hours and 30 minutes in the last week. But I don't really feel
social networking, 4 hours 55 minutes, productivity 4 hours and 1 minute, entertainment, and 3 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to hope for, you know?
I think I want my productivity at least 3 hours above my social networking.
That makes sense.
You know?
Yeah. I wonder if I could like hook it up to my computer too, so I can actually get a real. Because I mean, screen time would still be my computer too.
Yeah,
and that's where I do my
mediums.
writing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's something that I guess just keep on being aware of. I would love to set a challenge or some kind of parameter, but like with yours with writing, I mean, it's like you can't. Like, and that's how a lot of my usage too. I would start being like, God damn it, I don't want to like use maps for the next hour.
Yeah.
Because then I'm all of a sudden like I'm on my phone more. So
right.
But I think you can kind of like go in there and you can calculate what doesn't count and stuff like that. And I think that would be something to kind of try to figure out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm definitely trying to push my productivity above the social media. So, resisting clicking on IG, clicking on Facebook, and maybe limiting that to 30 minutes.
That's like a day.
A day.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking
think we
too.
said that last week too.
You know what I fucking noticed is
What'd you fucking notice?
you know what I fucking noticed? And it's one of those tricks, and I know it's a trick from a company where Facebook, I like kept on catching myself every time I had that little like notification for like you have a notification or whatever and I would always look into it, and there's some times where I would do that, but there wasn't a notification.
So it was like, something stupid, like some page that you followed 7 years ago.
That does happen too. But there was definitely times where I would do it and like nothing was refreshed, nothing was new, and I was like, this is a fucking trick. I know it is. Like they're fucking snakes, dude. They're snakes in the grass, and they're trying to manipulate your behavior. So I was like, you know what, dude? I don't need to fucking look at these just because there's that red, like use that 15-30 minutes, be like, okay, it's 4:30 or whatever after work and right before I'm gonna go do something else, like let's sit down, address whatever those notifications were,
right,
and then kind of go from there. I don't know.
I was gonna say something along the lines of what you were talking about just now, but I fucking
that'd
blanked.
be cool. That's how conversation really
yeah, this might take off if we started doing that,
we should note that down. We should try to work on it.
Right. Yeah, so I turned off my notifications. I only make them come up as a banner, a temporary banner. So if it goes off, like it'll sit there, I don't know for how long, but I don't have to unlock my phone, and I don't have to, go into the app. I can just see it on my notification screen.
Does it tell you what you're being notified for? Or does it just tell you? So maybe that's what I should do.
Yeah, but I don't, go into it.
Right, and I think that's the trap. Yeah. The trap is opening a can of worms, because then you got fucking worms to deal with. And you're like scrolling through the worms, because some of them are funny memes, some of them are hot chicks. Some of them are your ex-girlfriend, and she's pregnant now and has kids.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's deep. Nick.
And now she's happier than she ever was.
No wonder your Facebook was so high there. Your Facebook usage.
Who are you? Who do you think you are?
Do you want to listen?
I've thought about that where I don't know if any of my ex-girlfriends have had, I don't think any of them do.
Yeah.
Not that I know of, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that it would be kind of a strange feeling to see it in a weird way. I don't know why. I would just be kind of oh, it's weird to
think that I was with that.
Yeah, or especially because
or with her, I should say.
Especially with that old fucking bag of bricks. But so much of my I don't know. I romanticized relationships so much when I was in a relationship. Uh-huh. So I was always this is gonna be the girl that I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life. With every girl that I was ever with, I always had that in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just that's the Disney thing that was engraved in
Disney
me.
Pressure.
It's the fucking Disney pressure. Dude.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I would kind of hit this weird thing in my heart if I saw it, but I wouldn't really.
Yeah, one of my exes, got married after our relationship. Actually, they got married and. She's got 2 kids now.
Yeah. You're like, huh? Well,
whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, she used to reach out to me.
You're the father.
No.
Pedro Martini Jr.
It was kind of weird. I mean, the time that we were together, she had such a traumatic experience at home, and her grandfather passing, and then she moved out with her dad, her actual dad, and not her mom's ex-husband that she lived with here. It's just this dynamic.
Jeez Louise.
It's just this dynamic. And
settle down.
So that was all happening while we were together, and so she's very vulnerable in that stage, and she opened up a lot to me. And so she would call me, after she'd gotten married, and I believe after, it might have been pre-kids.
Yeah.
And talk to me about her marital problems, and I'm well,
actually, I get that.
I don't know how. Yeah, you know, because she.
I've done that kind of shit before too. Where
Really?
I think it's weird though. I feel weird about it now looking back.
Yeah, and it was in the beginning of when like Rachel and I were together. So Rachel's like, does she do that a lot? You know, and I
Right.
understand that from her
For
point
sure.
of view too. And I was like, well, not really. And she it wasn't a lot. You know, we didn't talk a lot, but it was.
I feel like society makes us feel uncomfortable with it, but I don't think it should be. I think it should be positive because you had a connection with somebody, you know somebody very well,
Right.
And so you're reaching out to that like comfortable, you know, that connection. Like and maybe she's like seeking that, like needing that. You know what I mean? Because like I've done it in the past. Like I said, I've like been broken up with girls for like. I don't know the longest, like 6 months or something, and I'll like kind of just write them, but not even like in a weird, just kind of be like, maybe even apologetic, just kind of realizing I'm like was a piece of shit or something like that. So it's not like supposed to be in this like manipulative way, but I bet you on the other side it usually feels like that.
Kind of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like what's the end game, or what are you trying to like.
And then I think I realized like it was all for good in a sense. But is it healthy? Like, I don't know. It's like I was vulnerable with her too. You know, I opened myself up to her too. And we kind of both came to the conclusion, you know, this wasn't going to work out, and we split our ways. And I don't know.
I think it's just, you know, some people it's really...
It's hard.
It's difficult to open up to people, and especially to get to that, like, really low, gritty level and talk honestly with people.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you do find those people, and especially if you're an introvert or have social anxiety, it's extremely difficult to find those connections. So when you do find those connections, you, like, hold on to them for dear life in a weird way.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But... people come and go, and that's, you know, we've discussed this before. And not like, you know, the bitter end of relationships doesn't always have to be a negative thing or a sad thing. Like you enjoyed this person and they helped you grow.
Yeah, it was
this month, or you learned.
Everybody says like, oh, it's a mutual breakup, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, those do exist, and it's,
for sure. People outgrow each other.
Yeah,
they, you know.
For sure.
Did you see the divorce rates actually like going down now because of millennials? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's a tricky statistic because there's less people getting married as well, and the age of what's the generation before us? Whatever, like the baby boomers. They all divorced when they got to like that certain age when they're like their midlife crisis, or it's like they kind of got all those out of the way.
Right.
So I don't know. It's tricky to.
I mean, I feel like I'm constantly living a midlife crisis.
Right, quarter life crisis.
Yeah, I'm already dealing with all
If
this.
you're not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. That's what everybody's doing.
Because you're walking on quicksand, motherfucker.
No, man.
But you really are. It's.
I think to help with that, I don't know. I think we should be more open with everyone. Like, get rid of that ego grasp and have, like you said, healthy, honest conversations with someone.
Yeah, and actually, but it's just difficult because not many people are on that same page. So even as soon as you discover that, you can't. It's really hard to. I mean, that goes back to how interact with the world, how you want to, like, manipulate, or how you want to, you know. That's all you can do, you know. It's with spreading positivity and not negativity. It's choosing this one thing to say rather than this one thing to say. So if you're talking to me and being vulnerable, it's really easy for me then to make a good joke about it.
Yeah.
But like that's not the time to do that, you know? And I think...
I mean, if you're good friends, I could see it like, you know...
Sometimes, but there are times where it's like maybe that was like that little window, or like maybe that was like that little breath of courage to be like... Dude, I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
Or I actually am feeling lost, or I am feeling a certain way, and you're just kind of like, yeah, that's classic you. Or like, and I can even make that joke for myself. Like, yeah, fucking typical Nick.
Typical Nick.
You know, and even to be real with you, like the last, I don't know, like 3-4 weeks, I have had a very like, just a looming depressive state in my mind, just constant, and this is a strange place to talk about it, but fuck it. It's like, it's so strange now that like I've been able to frame my mind and understand my depression and suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies and shit like that, and understanding that we're not always happy and life isn't always fucking rainbows and butterflies or whatever. But it's frustrating then too, where you start feeling better, and then like when your highs are so high, your lows
are lower.
Feel fucking really low. And I just had this thing where I'm just like this like suicidal loop of just like killing yourself and just like entering the bliss of like death. How it's like easier, and you're not constantly dealing with all the stress of life, and it's hard to express that with people, because it's like, just be positive, be happy, you know. It's like, I know, and
Snap out
I
of
know
it,
I should.
Not easy.
And it's definitely not. And this is one of those fucking things of why I love, you know, meditating, or the way that I do it. I use Headspace, and you know, the last couple weeks, you know, with yoga, with anything, man, it's difficult to do. You don't feel like you're fucking getting anything out of it, because you're doing it every day. You're just like, what's the point? There's nothing happening. But then there's that one time where, you know, it happened 3 days ago, and the mantra of it was discussing how we have these thoughts on our mind, these unhealthy patterns that we get locked into sometimes. So meditating obviously helps you not think about that, and you focus on your breath.
Yeah.
But it was talking about how all you can do is, you can't speed up the progress of feeling better or feeling worse. All you can do is create the environment to allow it to happen, to allow it to unfold. All you can do is try to step back and try to realize what it is, and just, you put a name on it. This is that emotion, this is that thought. This doesn't define me. What I need to do is create the environment where I keep on eating healthy, not drinking a lot, and exercising my brain to slowly recover and go back to those happy times.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. It just, life is a fucking process. Life is a bitch, man.
It's stressful, dude.
It's stressful.
It's stressful. Like I said, like I jokingly said, like constantly living this midlife crisis, but you know, to a certain extent, it's, you know, somewhat true.
Yeah.
We're all stressed out. Would it be better to off yourself? Yeah, I mean,
no, but it's like,
no, I'm not saying
no,
yeah.
I know.
I
I'm just saying, no, I know. I'm not.
I don't know, but no, I don't think it's worth it. You know,
It's
this morning I repeat shit to myself when I'm doing yoga, and I say, thank you, universe, thank you. I thank my body for keeping up.
Yeah, there's so much to be appreciative too, and that's the thing. That's like, and I get fucking frustrated with myself, man, because like I get, it's been like heavy, dude. It's like you're just getting these funks, and you're so, and now I'm like aware of it though. Like I'm aware of, like, I'm grateful for the universe. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for all the things around me, the people, my friends, and my band, this podcast, like my family. But I'm just like, I could just jump in front of a car right now, and then like, and those kind of thoughts of just driving, be like, oh, I could just
veer into this fucking
man. It's like, and it's like stop, fucking stop, and I don't know.
That's scary.
It's frustrating, man.
That's scary.
You know,
as a friend, like hearing this from you, it's scary to think like that's running through your head, because you can always reach out to me, and even if you just want to go fucking get drunk, we'll go get drunk, dude. I'm not, AA over here, like, live your life better.
Yeah.
I was fucking drunk last night.
right?
Yeah.
Same.
I don't. What kid? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think, like, what can I do to
it's
help you, like, because we all have those little thoughts, like, oh, I could just fucking into that fucking canal, or onto this fucking right in front of this semi, or whatever you're doing, you know. But some people get stuck in that loop that you said, you know,
for
constantly,
years, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I lived in that for 10 years before I started doing all this shit that we talk about on here all the time. It's like, and it's sad that I feel like I robbed myself of so much of my life. At the same time, it's like, you know, with the highs being so high and the lows being so low, like, that's kind of magnificent in its own way too. You know, it's really interesting how one day something so fucking detrimental, you can cry, you can want to kill yourself, like, this is the end of my world, and then 5 years later you're at a bar telling the story of how fucking ridiculous that you were, and just laughing about it.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're still that same person, like, you still experience those same things. That means in that moment you could have experienced the environment differently. You could have interacted with it
Right.
in a different way if you just didn't cling on to this, constant loop of this thought or this whatever,
Vibe.
this vibe,
This-
I think the biggest thing is when you talk, when you say what you're feeling, it takes a lot of the power away from what you're feeling. Personally, I really believe that. I mean, just expressing yourself and saying like I feel this way and talking about your depression or this, and I think it's getting hard now too with society because we're so quick to mock or roast each other.
Yeah.
Or it's always the quicker joke, or it's like,
Especially online.
Yeah, or especially online,
social media.
Yeah, I mean, it all really goes back to that fucking snake in the grass.
That's the main snake in the grass.
Yeah.
That's fucking Anaconda.
It is an anaconda.
Wasn't Jennifer Lopez in that movie?
I don't
That was a
know.
long ass time ago, isn't it?
I love those like terrible old movies like that. I don't know if I ever saw that one though, but
You never saw Anaconda?
I
bro?
feel like I did, but I feel like it was like one of those weird movies. I feel like it was on TV so many times that I
Yeah.
would watch it in these weird like segments. Back to I was thinking about this with the dog thing since we're talking about TV. Do you remember like those daytime like TV shows that were like maybe it was Lifetime or something of the dogs that like save like people's lives, like they call 911 and shit on the phone. Did you ever see any of that shit?
No.
I used to love like I loved used to be like sick from school and then watching that like terrible daytime TV.
Oh god, it's so terrible.
I know.
It was terrible.
We didn't have anything else to distract ourselves from.
That's it, dude. Distract yourself from this.
Because now the kids have those iPads and they got those
I saw
Looney Tunes.
This dad come in the other day. He was holding an iPad. His two little sons were holding an iPad. And not one word was said to them, or they didn't say anything either. Dad ate their food or his food.
Mm-hmm.
They ate their food. They got up and I was like, "That's your interaction with your child."
Dude.
Like,
And that's everywhere, man.
that is everywhere.
And I think that's just one of those. That's why I love that we're addressing it. I love thinking of it as that tool and not falling into that trap. Not falling into the traps that society is marking for us. Because like they're setting it up.
Oh yeah.
Because they love it. They love fucking having us constantly consuming,
For sure.
constantly. I mean, it means they're constantly in control of our mind. It means we're never fucking using our imagination, never thinking of anything for ourselves.
That and money, man.
Every thought is methodically like hammered into you.
Yeah.
It's the advertising, the phone. It's like you're not thinking for yourself whatsoever.
Yeah. My buddy last night actually showed me his version. He's got an Android, and he's like in beta testing for kind of like a screen time thing, like with Apple, the new update that it had. And he showed me it, and then he could set a timer where it would go grayscale, because a lot of these companies are making all these apps that look so flashy in a way, appealing, the color they attract you, and it's called grayscale. So he sets a timer for that, and his whole screen, everything he does, it goes black and white.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it has to do with these companies making it addicting.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it will build their revenue.
Yeah, it's all about.
It makes sense. It makes sense as a company.
And that's the thing, you know. And I don't blame them for doing it. Like, this is what a company does.
Yeah.
We know this is what a company does, but we are still openly consumed. It's like let's go back to the fucking dogs talking to ghosts. All these sounds, these plants, these sounds, these hums that are happening around us that we're not aware of. These colors, these smells, even. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they still do it, but I remember like in the 90s a lot during kind of like the school hour when we get out on lunch break, where they would kind of like pump this smell into the air of like their fries, or like Burger King used to do that because like they tested it on rats to like have them all flock to a certain place. I mean, there's no
Burger
fucking...
King. That's what Burger King's doing when it like looks like it's up in smoke.
Yeah,
like they still do that.
I think they do, right?
Yeah, and it
like,
smells like fucking Burger King for like a block and a half.
I mean, In-N-Out does it, but I don't know if they do it on purpose or not, or just because they cook so many fucking French fries.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
But there's definitely something to that. They're not buying stronger hoods to suck it out. Like they're letting it out there because they know. You know, it's like, come here, fucking rats. Come on, baby. Come on.
Give me that Whopper, man.
Come on.
Give me that Whopper.
And the guy's just standing outside the window. The king, he's like, oh, they're coming.
Who's the king?
The Burger King. The commercial.
Oh, God. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
No, you're good, man.
Sometimes. So last week we had the talk about putting excuses up. You know how I was like, oh, but I haven't been reading because I've been writing so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't like that about myself. I kind of checked myself on the podcast last week, and my voice went down. I noticed it. I kind of listened to it. I was like, I felt a little embarrassed, but at the same time, that's good. I checked myself, and I picked up a book that fucking day, and now I'm like 30 pages in within the first 2 days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, just start reading, setting these little goals for yourself that you can knock down. You said it before, 100% into everything you're doing and not having to look at your screen to get that
with what you're
satisfaction.
Watching what you're consuming, and it's the biggest thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The biggest thing that I've saw that's changed my behavior is TV. My TV time is gone. Like I'll go days without watching TV, which is insane for how much it used to be my only way. I used to think would find comfort. And now, I'll go literally, like I said, days without it. Then when I do sit down and finally watch these shows that I'm behind on or whatever, it's like I really fucking that kidding show, for example. I really
empathize.
Empathize. I feel it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Or even if I want to watch something dumb, like the other day, I wanted to fucking go to outer space with a brownie, and dude, it's this fucking big, man. This is what, 2.5, 3 inches.
2 inches.
So, and my plan was to eat the whole thing. It was 150 milligrams because I was just I don't fucking care. I want kind of this psychedelic trip.
Right.
But I was just you know what? No, I'm going to eat a third of it. That's it. And I started watching Bob's Burgers, and I almost went to fucking cardiac arrest because of how hard I was laughing. But I was like, yes, this is... this is what I've been searching for when I would watch TV because I remember having these interactions with it, but then I get so fucking bogged down by it that you don't feel it anymore because you're so overly consumed with it. So that's with your phone, or this morning I watched that sunflower thing. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, that's.
And then
dope.
I watched that Pixar thing, and I was like, fuck yeah! This is crazy.
You appreciate a lot more.
Yeah, and you really take it in.
Yeah.
Take it all in.
Take it all in. I wrote this. You mentioned earlier, just a few minutes ago. You said something about creating or consuming what you want to create. I wrote. I find this helped me a lot. Consume what you want to create in a way, but also surround and engulf yourself with what creates you. With that persona that it's not a persona; it's who you are. And if you're not lying to yourself, or if you're not living behind the mask of Facebook or social media, it's what you should try to do, I guess. I started listening to a writer's podcast too, surrounding myself with all these things that I want to learn, I want to project, that I feel like I'm capable of doing.
That's a big thing for friends and stuff too, surrounding yourself around people that are creating or inspiring you, not the ones that are always roasting you, you know.
And it's tough, I could imagine, for you, in the kitchen, that's what a kitchen does. That's all a kitchen does.
And what's funny is now that I don't really I'm like I said, I'm trying not to do it.
Right.
Everybody just always thinks I'm upset or mad. I'm like, dude, I'm actually fucking I'm bliss right now. I'm existing, coexisting with the environment around me and being peaceful, So, and that it is hard because then you have to deflect it in a way, but that's also good training, I guess, for myself, because you can't have a perfect world. There's not a fucking perfect world, unfortunately. You can't be the bubble.
Whenever
boy.
they insult now, I'll just come back with something oh, you're projecting your insecurities.
Yeah,
I understand.
I
You know,
love
you
saying-
gotta use
I love saying stuff like that. Right.
Right.
You're just gonna be like, I know where that came from. It's because
yeah,
you need
and then
to-
they like think about it like, oh, whatever way. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to get more sleep. Do you know the doctors recommend?
Yeah.
Like
Give
puta
them a-
madre.
That's funny, dude. Speaking of ghosts,
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
have you ever made a ghost poop?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Is that the white poop?
The white?
Is it when it's white?
No.
Why have I heard somebody talk about white poop?
Well,
before?
I maybe there's different variations because I was enlightened by another
I've
form
heard the
of ghost
Houdini.
poopy. What's a Houdini?
It's when you feel like you dropped a big deuce and then it's gone. It's like not in the toilet.
It's not in the toilet. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one I was enlightened.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a Houdini. My friend called it a ghost poop.
Gotcha.
And my original ghost poop, I think, was when you take a shit and you wipe and there's nothing on the
Oh,
paper.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those ghost
Like,
poopies are good.
wait a second.
So then my friend goes, imagine like double ghost pooping. Wiping your butt
Whoa.
and not having anything on the paper and then not being anything in the toilet. Like there not being shit in the toilet. Imagine double ghost pooping.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like, whoa.
But I mean that's gotta be
You got to question your psyche then at that part. You're like,
yeah, like
dude,
did I really actually just pee or
Did
poop?
I or poop into another dimension maybe?
Ah,
We keep on talking about
Loch
other
Ness
dimensions,
Monster.
or you know, it's like
Yeah. The
also
Loch
Loch
Ness
Ness Monster, like, just swimming in a sewer of shit.
This is where everybody's ghost shit goes.
That was a like old Jack. Remember like Vaporize or something? They like created that thing for dog poop where like
Yeah.
you'd spray and it would like take it and do it. Was it another dimension?
And-
no, it just went somewhere else.
Envy?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking Jason Bateman, man, I gotta love him.
Was he in there? That was
I
Jack
believe
Black.
so.
Was he in there too? Jason Bateman and Jack Black? I don't know who it was. Whatever, but
Or no, I'm thinking about Extract.
oh yeah, that was a good movie.
Extract with
Yeah.
Jason Bateman.
That would be. I don't know, other dimensions trip me out, man.
Yeah, man.
Ghost poops,
Ghost
where they go
poop.
lock in.
But that's got I was gonna say
Bigfoot.
that's got a lot to do with like the way that toilet works.
Hmm.
Right? Like if you shit and then there's nothing in the toilet, like it's gotta be the way it's like the water is getting filled and it kind of still suctioning down.
Have you ever used a bidet before?
No, I've never used a bidet.
I'm sure it's amazing.
But I mean I've taken a shit and gotten in the shower.
Straight.
Oh, you can do a little couple wipes, but you don't wipe as thoroughly
I worked.
as
I used to work with a guy who lived super close to where he worked, and he wouldn't take a shit at work because he thought it was gross to wash, like to wipe your ass. So he'd have to. He'd go home, shit, go in the shower,
get back to work.
and go back to work. I got a clean asshole, boys.
So his bathroom breaks like an hour long.
Yeah, it'd be like he'd save it for like his half-hour break or whatever, and he'd be like, or like if he really had to go, he'd just be like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was from, I don't remember where he was from. It was from another country. It's kind of fun. It's funny like how hygiene habits like that are all so different. Though,
Yeah.
really.
Have you used a bidet?
No, but like I said, I'm sure it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It does definitely make more sense than like mashing shit into shit.
Wiping shit with paper.
It seems very like.
Olden days.
Yeah, exactly.
But aren't bidets olden days too?
I don't know. Our bidets, olden days.
Our bidets.
Our
olden
bidets,
days.
all bidets.
That's funny, man.
I don't know where I heard this from. I know it was a podcast, but I can't remember what fucking one it was. And they're talking about how truth or dare kind of like molded their sexuality in a weird way. And when they said that, I was like, wait, mine too. I was like, in second grade, I was playing truth or dare, and that was when I got my first kiss.
Uh-huh.
And so that was the whole like turning point, like all these kind of. It's weird how like kind of the world works like that. We're like, what
Was it
form
the teacher?
does- No,
Your first kiss? Oh, okay.
no. It was like me and a couple of my friends. I remember we were just like sitting there.
I did that too.
Yeah, and we just like put a sheet over it. Like we didn't even. I don't think the other people even kissed, but like we actually did it. And we're like, oh, her name was Maggie, and then I didn't. Maggie, are you out there? And then I didn't kiss anybody until like another seventh grade. Like I didn't. But it's weird how like that like turned kind of like it put that seed in your brain. I'm like, oh,
Ooh, I like girls.
yeah.
Or I like my teacher.
Do you have like any good truth or dare stories?
Yeah, kind of. Maybe off mic subjects. No, I remember doing that in second grade, and we were out in recess, and we got in trouble for it, actually.
Oh, really?
Because I remember we were doing that. I think it was either that or like spin the bottle. You know,
Spin the bottle. Oh yeah, that was
a
a
good one too.
7 Minutes in Heaven. Did you ever play that one?
In the closet? No,
I never played that one.
one.
No, me either.
But popular. Yeah, it was out in during recess time, and we were out by the playground, and just innocently, like, oh, ooh, you got the bottle.
Spin the bottles. If you think about it, it is pretty like think about like these second graders, third graders, and shit like that. Like,
but that's what we were learning, I guess, or not necessarily
right.
learning, but like we were all curious, man. We're all curious, and you're like, you see mom and dad, and oh, they kids, yeah. You play doctor, shit like that.
Yeah.
But it felt like we weren't trying to hide it, that we were playing spin the bottle out in the playground. It's not like we were like, oh, this is a terrible thing. It's kind of, we were just out there, and then the teacher kind of saw like two fucking second graders kiss, and like,
oh
yeah. Wait. So they pulled us into the office and blah blah blah.
Oh man, those old kid games I loved.
And there was like a period during middle school, I guess, too, that Truth or Dare or Spin the Bottle got a little more intense.
Or Nervous. Do you remember Nervous?
No. Oh, it was like touching.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous. Ramp!
You still play that with me.
That's true. It's so much fun.
I get nervous really quick. I was driving the other day, dude.
Uh-huh.
And this is so sad.
Same.
I was driving to work the other day, and I saw this guy at a bus stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is fucking furiously like screaming, making gestures with his hands, pointing as if somebody was fucking standing to his right, just yelling.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed a cigarette in between his hands. And then I noticed I'd look to his right, and there's this big ass advertisement in big caps that says addiction. So it's like
kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny that I like realized that, he's, I don't know, so aware. I don't know. I feel like he's aware that, this is an addiction. His cigarette's an addiction, and and it's being shoved in his face, almost like shaming him, like, which is not always bad. I just thought it was very sad to see, actually, because he's like chained by this addiction, and he knew it, and he was expressing it. He was letting that poster know, man. Like,
I've had this weird like craving for cigarettes lately.
Really?
Which I mean, is that weird how it's
once
like
a smoker, always a smoker, man.
It's like if you're an alcoholic, even if you're like sober, you're an alcoholic because or if I'm depressed, like I have depression. Yeah. I always have it. It's just like something that. But yeah, it's like I keep on thinking about just that taste and that feel. I remember the first cigarette I had was I was like I was a fucking, not a nerd isn't the way to say it in like high school, but like I was super like smoking's not cool, weed's not cool, drinking's not cool.
Dare
like,
got to you.
we didn't even have Dare in my school, to be honest with you. But no, I just thought it was all a waste, and it was like, that's dumb. I was dating a girl, and then her sister smoked, so they smoked one time, and I went over to her house and like I kissed her, and I was like, "Yo, you stanky." Like, you were like smoking, and I got, fucking middle school fight, being upset about something, like such stupid bullshit or whatever, And then I remember like 2 days later, I was at Hollywood Video, and my coworker right before he closed, like, "Hey, do you want to go smoke?" And I was like, "Yeah,
sure."
Stick it to her. Then we went outside the parking lot. And
Did you get that?
I was just like, I get it. Like, I got that nicotine buzz and
that
just
head rush.
That head rush, and just like I was hooked right away, man.
Oh, me too, dude.
And I went to her house after work, and then she's like, and then she got mad at me, of course, and then throughout that relationship, I was on and off smoking, like throwing packs out the windows, sometimes being like, I'm not, or whatever. But I loved that initial rush of just. But that it is like I compared it to meditating before, because you would take yourself out of the situation, go outside and enjoy the environment, which you don't do ever. It forced you to go on a walk, it forced you to go outside.
Right. I mean, people still go outside, but they're not necessarily interacting
Or that.
taking in the outside.
Yeah, they're staring out
They're staring at
like,
their
oh,
fucking
cool.
screen. Put your screen down,
Put your screen down.
bitches. Jeez.
Come on.
Yeah, man, I remember my first cigarette. My buddy Michael and I, we went. Why does this X keep coming up in this video, in this story?
Shout
out. We went down towards her area where she lived, and there was a skate park down there, and he drove a Bronco 2.
OJ.
The smaller Bronco. No, it was a small one. Small little red Bronco. And I dropped my phone or something, and I looked under the seat and grabbed my phone, but I also saw this pack of cigarettes.
Okay.
And I knew he smoked, so... and I was like, oh, dude, did you know these were down here? And there was like 2 black cloves left. Did you ever have a black
I never
clove?
had a clove,
But
no.
that fucking
I know what it
smell,
is.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
disgusting. But that's all, like, he's like, oh, no, here, light one up. And I was like, oh, all right, you know.
Yeah.
So I smoked, and that head rush, man. And then, like, I thought it was so cool because black cloves are, like, designed to, like, crackle and pop as you drag them. Like,
right.
They put something in it, which is probably not fucking good for you. Not that smoking's good for you anyway. But, so I was like,
Pop
you know,
rocks.
you're puffing on it and looking at it, seeing it popple and crack, and you get these good feeling.
just
Like, it's
like,
just that vice of that,
It's that
grip.
nighttime air, driving past the lake, music on.
There you go.
Dude.
There you go.
Smells. Do you like have that like sense of memory through smell?
Smell Murray?
Smell memory.
Yeah.
It's a
It's crazy, dude. I'll go
thing.
back
It's
to,
a
like, second grade.
Me too, dude. And I'm just like,
It's
whoa,
like-
where did this come
Yeah.
from? And
Or there's those times that you're like, fuck, what's that smell?
that is
What the fuck is that smell,
what-
you know? And then,
Ew, what the fuck is that smell? I mean, come on.
God damn it, Nick!
What's that smell? What's that smell?
And then, like,
That's Noki all the time. That was him
Yeah.
this morning. He's like, what's
that smell? Is that a ghost?
I ain't going over there.
Don't fucking drag me, Dad. I'm the king of this bitch.
I'm the king.
And then it dawns on you, like, oh shit, that was Mrs. Vice's second grade class. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like that's what this smells like, or I don't know, man. Trippy.
Yeah.
For sure, you link all this
Memories to smell.
to smell.
And then do you ever think about that you're like not getting any of those now? There's a sense of, I'm extremely guilty of this, of like that nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
I call it like getting like blinded by nostalgia goggles, or, you know,
Yeah.
because you live so much in the past and those were the good old days and that was the good time. But when you're living in that and hoping for those expectations, you're shortchanging yourself for this present moment. Like every moment can be the new good old times.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with like a lot of old people, especially that are like, you know, crippled by regrets, is because they had this little period of their life where they felt like they were free. You know, I was in college and I was in my early 20s. I could do whatever I want. I wasn't tied down by this or that's.
Right.
Like you still can do that if you let yourself. It just is not. It's the path of least resistance, which is very attractive. You know?
Yeah.
It's easier. It's
Look down at your phone. I mean,
right.
snap out of this world.
Mm-hmm. Feel better, and then as soon as we get into that, you know, virtual reality kind of thing. I mean, that's take it to a whole other level, and it's coming, man.
I asked Rachel the other day. I was like, "Hey, what's your screen time looking like?" She goes, "Oh, you know, hitting all my goals, exceeding."
Has it slowed her down at all, or not? Not really.
I don't think so.
No, I mean that's another thing. A lot of people probably won't really use it, and they don't want to look at it either.
Yeah,
you know, it's like the new bank.
scary.
It's the new bank account. Screen time.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
I was thinking of, I don't know how this thought came to my mind, where, you know, when these new religions kind of get introduced and we're always like, that's crazy, you know, Scientology, for example, which, you know, is crazy because all religions are kind of crazy because at the end of the day, like they're trying to profit or control or do something with it. But I was thinking of like how the whole simulation thing, of how that's an absurd idea and how it'd be crazy to think that we were created by something. And it's like, wait, don't you think that isn't like religion?
Yeah,
that
like
you
that's
were created by something. You were created by something. You were presented an environment. You're living in that environment to return to your creator.
Yeah.
Like, isn't religion technically a simulation?
A simulation.
Or you're hoping that's what, like, you're hoping that the programming that you're reading, all the details of the past and what will be in the future are a genetic code, essentially, like a computer code, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the fucking difference? Isn't that kind of funny? It's like, that's the creatorism. I don't know.
Craterism?
There's some kind of word, I believe, in there that's for, like, those, like, heavy Christians or Catholics or something. But I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a funny thing to, like, kind of connect.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Religion is, I don't know, it's man-made too,
word.
I guess. Was it?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a three-letter. The fuck are you talking about?
Figure it out.
I don't know, man. Just takes it back this morning. I was you said simulation. This morning I was like, thank you, universe, because I do my corny little mantras while I do my yoga. And I was like, thank you, universe, thank you, body. And I was like, thought about it, and I said universe, and I said world. And then I was like, whatever this is, thank you for,
Yeah, right.
Putting me here, or, I don't know. I think we all have something to do.
That's the thing with God, though, too. And, it's what you define as God. And that's the whole, the prison of language, where this word only means this. So now, like they say, if you speak multiple languages, you actually kind of experience things differently. Because you hear how people relate to something this way, but then in another language, a different culture, different things that have been passed down for generations and generations, whereas ghosts or old habits or voodoo and shit, things that are engraved in you, then like you will completely, I don't know, it changes you. It's,
It's weird.
It is weird.
A funky world.
But anyway, yes, this is what I'm getting to. That God can be just the universe. Like, I believe in God in the sense that, like, we are all part of some kind of energy created through God, which just being the universe.
Yeah.
God is the universe. Like, we are the womb of the universe,
Let's take it back to Jacob's episode where he told us on his DMT trip that he was giving the opportunity to leave this place and go into that. And he said he saw this beautiful goddess or whatever, and she was, I don't know, what, purple or something like that. And I mean, that's, and then he realized, then it's like, oh, if I leave, that means I die down here. Yeah. And I go into this place. So he realized that, and he obviously came back because he's still with us. Yeah.
That is what I love about psychedelics, and was always drawn to them.
Does that open that possibility to those different dimensions?
It totally does.
Like, Noki saw a ghost this morning. Maybe you would have felt what Noki if you were like on psilocybin or
for
something.
Sure, man. Because I remember multiple times on mushrooms, like being in the woods and then like talking to plants or watching plants like interact with each other. But now it's like listening to that sunflower thing. It's like, was I fucking high off my mind, or was I in tune, eating nature as part of nature, realizing that I am a kinetic energy of a different sense? I mean,
we're in a sense pollinators of all these plants too.
Exactly. It's crazy, man. Yeah.
Maybe that's our purpose.
I've been waiting.
It's fucking. It's what's it called? What's that movie, man?
Jumanji.
The fuck Avatar, man. Like,
well, you gotta give me more than that. You didn't give me any hints.
Avatar. What's that movie, man? I was gonna say
name the movie. 500
blue monsters. Avatar. Their sense of how everything's connected. He hunts and he kills whatever that being is, and he says, "Thank you for this meat. Right. And it'll be good for my body and my family and my community or whatever." And there is that sense of connectivity between us, between plants. Like, I started talking to my fucking plants, like I said. There is that wave.
I do this new thing, too. Like, if I go through the drive-thru, get a Big Mac, I kiss it before. So thank you for your suffering.
Right. That's a lie. You know why? Because you don't eat fast food.
Thank you for being here today.
My chicken wings every time, like, Thank you,
Thank
little
you, chicken wing.
for supplying this
pumped.
tiny amount of meat on this bone. Let's just throw you into the grinder, chicken nuggets.
Let's see how many of these I can eat at a time.
We did
This is
that.
probably 2 families.
My cousins and I did that. Had a
Oh, chicken wing.
no, not
Chicken
chicken wing.
wing.
It was what was it? Fucking, I just blanked. McDonald's.
Chicken nuggets?
No, not chicken nuggets. Double cheeseburgers.
Oh, how many you could eat?
Yeah,
How many did you eat?
like 8. Like 8.
Oh,
I said like 8.
me and my friend did that with Jack in the Box tacos. I think we did 30.
Really? That's insane. 30 fucking tacos?
2 for $1.
That's true.
Those were the golden ages.
Were you fucking high out of your mind?
No, man.
No?
I was seriously obsessed with fast food when I was a kid. Like I ate it like all the
So
time.
thinking about it now, like that's so bad for you.
Dude, I know. And like I see like when I see older people eating it, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Aren't you like an adult? Why are you eating? I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be like judgy or anything. I'm just like and that's why I don't even allow myself to eat it. It's more because I know like I don't have the control of it. Even if I was eating it 2 or 3 times a week,
Yeah.
like I feel like that's probably too much.
Yeah, Rachel brought home Taco Bell the other day.
Oh yeah.
I had a burrito. I was like, you know what? Get me something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it tonight.
I'll do it.
And then I just felt my fucking fingers swollen with all the sodium and
Dude, sodium. It's crazy. That's the crazy thing when you come in tune with your body more through all the things I discussed. How you really.
It
It's
affects
those highs
you,
are
dude,
highs
yeah.
and those
And
lows,
those
are lows
lows,
because
yeah.
you're not just living in that constant like sludgy,
Yeah.
pissed off existence we're all fucking cruising in
Or lack thereof.
or lack thereof.
Boom, bitches.
Yeah, I mean,
I really gotta pee.
I do too, really bad. I don't know if you noticed, I was like crossing my legs. For a
I
while,
saw you
and
get
I was
down on your
I
chair.
was doing
you
that,
know?
and I was like ah.
So yeah, we're not peeing in bottles, folks.
I'm actually surprised we got that. I ran out of material at 24 minutes, and I was like, fuck. I went through all my bullet points a lot quicker than I thought I was going
yeah.
to. But
well.
here we are.
Dude, an hour. This is like
This
our
stuff-
magic.
this fucking-
We said it like the first 2 podcasts. I thought, like, oh, 30 minutes is our thing. You know, we're going to do 30
like
minutes.
an hour and 10.
Yeah, it's been an hour and 10 the
Yeah.
past couple ones.
So we should have a guest, I think, next week, but who knows? Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Because you just gotta roll with the fucking punches, man.
Yeah,
If you
and-
expect anything out of life, shame on you! You know what? You were the one to blame for creating wants and needs, motherfucker.
Demands. We love you, folks. Thanks for listening. If there's anybody out there.
Is there anybody out there?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Question yourself.